Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are back for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I obviously make videos for NBA. I also do a bunch of other content in my Discord. All these videos, they do get posted on this subreddit. It's called DF Sports. You can find my post, my username on this subreddit is Shook. You can ask me questions about the slate. I make updates if we have any news about the slate. You can ask, like I said, ask me questions about pivots and stuff like that. Talk strategy here, a really great place to be. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can do so on Twitter right here at Tory Langley 1992 or ShookGo. That's how you get a hold of me privately. And then if you are interested in joining my Discord where I have private videos, I give you a core of players to play, player pools for cash and tournaments, a whole bunch of other stuff, a lot of different sports, esports, NBA, we have Summer League coming up, NFL preseason coming up, we have people playing MLB, PGA, NASCAR, pretty much do everything. Link to that will be down below. And before we get into my lineups from last slate, actually, we'll just look at my lineups first. Like I said, I cover CSGO and Call of Duty content if you do play esports. Had a really good day today in that. And then, yeah, let's go over my NBA lineups from last slate. So, I broke even. I did a 20 max, $4 20 max, broke even. The updates that I made with the Kevin Love news is I told everyone I'm playing Love in every single lineup. I was only going to play 20% Highsmith, but I had Love in every single lineup. It was very, very obvious, at least to me, when Kevin Love was starting, that he was going to play more than he was going to in the last series, and the series prior to that, because MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and just the size of Denver was absolutely destroying Miami. So it's very, very apparent to me that Love was going to play decent minutes. And that was the case. And you guys know, every video I've been prying Eric Spoelstra that they need to play Kevin Love. And there's a tweet that I'm going to show you guys in a second that's going to make your hearts burn if you did play Kevin Love in Game 1 like I did. I was way over the field on Max Strus. I finally got the good Max Strus game. I was obviously I had 100% Jokic. I had a ton of Jamal Murray. As you can see, Kevin Love was in every single lineup. I had a ton of Max Strus, ton of Aaron Gordon. I had a ton of Michael Porter Jr. He had the worst game of the playoffs he's ever had. As you can see, I just had so much Michael Porter Jr. That it was just unfortunate there when Michael Porter Jr. got benched. Christian Braun was playing well, so he didn't see as many minutes as he should have. I was way over the field on Bam. I had Bam in almost every lineup. I had no Jimmy Butler, 0 Jimmy Butler. But yeah, I feel like I've nailed everything, and I go over these rotations in depth, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job at doing that. We're going to continue to do that, but I go even more in depth in my Discord with the rotations. But I'm about to show you guys a tweet, and it's going to hurt if you played Kevin Love the game before, like I did. Spoelstra said his intention in Game 1 was to play Kevin Love. He blames his decision making for not doing it. And it made sense, right? They needed size out there. So, if you played Kevin Love in Game 1, you got insanely unlucky for being a really good DFS player. Unlucky. Super unlucky. But let's take a key look at the rotations from last game. So for Denver, we saw obviously Jeff Green and Christian Braun play very well. So they cut into Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes, and Michael Porter Jr. was playing horribly. 99% of the time, Michael Porter Jr. is not going to get benched for Braun, Jeff Green, etc. So we saw extra minutes for Braun, saw extra minutes for Jeff Green. It's not going to happen again, especially now that the series is getting along quicker. I expect their minutes to actually go down. I expect Braun, Green, probably minutes to go down. Bruce Brown cut into MPJ as well. That's why he played more than 20 minutes. We still saw KCP close. Like I told you guys, I think KCP is going to close every game because they need perimeter defense. So that was it for Denver. With Miami, you guys know the drill by now. They're going to go with the hot hand. So we saw Kyle Lowry barely play, and then he played all of the fourth. We saw Duncan Robinson basically barely play, and then he got hot in the fourth and he kept in. That's why Strus didn't play the fourth. Bam, Butler, they're always going to play the fourth, right? And then we saw, what else did we see? I don't know why Cody Zeller is getting the backup five. I don't understand it, but I'm done saying he's not going to play anymore because I've been wrong with that. We saw Caleb Martin off the bench. I expect that will continue. He has been dealing with an illness. Maybe that will impact some things, but I still think he'll come off the bench. And then we saw Highsmith basically not play. He looked awful out there. Minus 17. So, yeah, that's the rotations. Let's get into this slate. Denver at Miami. So, Jokic almost up to 16K. It's absolutely wild, but he's probably still going to be a priority for me. Just the floor and ceiling combo with him is just absolutely insane. I don't have to go over why Nikola Jokic is a good play. He's still a great play at this price tag. I don't think there's much of an analysis that I really need to go over with Nikola Jokic. He's still a phenomenal play at 15-2. Going to be hard to fit him in captain, but a phenomenal play. I'm probably going to play him in every lineup almost. I might fade in a few in some lineups with because he's 15-2 now, but I'm gonna have like 80, 90% Jokic. He looks phenomenal. You have Jamal Murray at 11.4. You have Jimmy Butler at 12K. Now that they are kind of close in price, straight up, I do prefer Butler to Murray. Point per dollar, it's very, very close. But if you do have the salary to get up to Butler, I would prefer him to Murray. If you don't, that's completely fine. I still think Murray's a very good play. The frustrating thing so far with Jimmy Butler is, what Jimmy Butler are we going to get? Are we going to get the passive Jimmy Butler? Or are we going to get the aggressive Jimmy Butler? It's been really, really weird in this series. It's been very, very weird. But we know the floor. We know the ceiling. We know he's a good defender. We know he's going to stuff the stat sheet. He's probably going to get you a couple steals, which is great. So Butler, I think, is a good play, especially if he does come in low owned, which he's been low owned pretty much every slate. And the people that have been playing him have gotten punished, unfortunately. He's just been too close in price to Jokic. It just doesn't make sense to play Butler when he was that close in price to Jokic, right? But now they're like different in price, and he's close to Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray is going to be like double the ownership of Jimmy Butler, I'd rather just play Jimmy Butler, right? And just hope that he's aggressive, right? Or if Jimmy Butler is going to be 2x the ownership of Murray, I'd just rather play Murray, right? I think they have a similar floor. I think they have a similar ceiling. Butler definitely a higher ceiling, in my opinion, but I think Jamal Murray is a solid play at 11.4. And then we have Michael Porter Jr., who is one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate. I think he's going to go under-owned than he should be on this slate. And the reason being is we saw Braun get extended because he was playing well. We saw him get benched. We saw Bruce Brown close. He played like shit. I feel like he's going to come in under-owned than he should be. And like I said, I think there's a 90+% chance that this doesn't happen again, where he plays this bad and gets benched for Braun, etc. Price came down. I expect the ownership to come down. I think he's one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate. I really, really like Michael Porter Jr. for tournaments. And then we have Aaron Gordon at 6.2. I don't know why the price came down. Just super, super safe. He's going to be out there a ton. They need his defense. There's no risk with his minutes. Another very solid play to me in the mid-range. And then we have KCP, Bruce Brown. I prefer KCP straight up just because I think the minutes are much, much safer. But Bruce Brown, I think, is a fine play. And if he's playing well, or if Michael Porter Jr. is playing bad, he could get extended. Price has come down to 5K too, which is nice. So I think a lot of solid plays on this slate at the respective prices. It seems like everyone's price came down besides the spend up. So Bruce will probably play around 20 minutes. We'll play more if he gets extended or if the other guys are struggling. He'll stuff the stat sheet as well. So I think he's solid at 5K. I think KCP at 5.4, I prefer straight up just because the minutes floor. But if you want to do like an ownership game on those two, I think that's completely fine. Like if KCP is going to be higher owned than Brown, you can go KCP, etc. And then we have Jeff Green, Christian Brown. So we could see their minutes decrease. So, like, instead of Christian Braun getting 2 rotations, we could see 1 now that it's past game 2. And we tend to see rotations tighten further along in each series. So, be a little bit careful here. I think he'll be in the rotation, but I'm not convinced he'll get a second shift. I think we could only see 1 shift and he plays, like, 4 or 5 minutes. He's obviously playable. Kevin Love is far and away the better play. Same with Jeff Green. Kevin Love is far and away the better play than both of them. But just be a little bit careful here. 3 steals, shot 3 of 3, had 3 assists. Not going to happen again. Usually he's a very, very low usage guy. Plus, on top of it, I think there is a good chance he only plays like 4 to 5 minutes. Or I could be wrong. He could get 2 rotations. So, playable, but someone I'd definitely be under on if he's going to get ownership. And then we have Jeff Green, who I'm definitely confident he'll probably get 2 rotations. Probably plays 10 to 15 minutes. An okay punt play. I prefer him to Braun, definitely. And that's going to do it for Denver. Let's go over to Miami. So, we already went over Butler. We already went over Murray. I don't think I have to take too much time there. I think he's a good play. I think Bam Adebayo is another very good play. Probably the more optimal play between him and Butler. I think it's much easier just to get to Bam Adebayo. I think a lot of optimal lineups from optimizers are going to be jamming in Bam Adebayo, and it's hard not to, right? Price hasn't really moved. Good. He's been getting doubles. 1, 2, 3 for 3 of the last 4 games. Different matchup. I don't think people understand this, but this is definitely a better matchup for Bam Adebayo than that Boston series, and we've seen it in his production, right? Good defender, can get those blocks, double upside. And another thing, like, Bam's not a guy that's going to average a ton of assists, right? But the cuts that Miami is doing is allowing him to get those quick assists, which definitely helps as well. I actually took Bam, I think his points plus assists in that hit last game. So I think Bam is very, very good at 9K. Caleb Martin's just a contrarian play for me. Hard to go to him right now at that price point, him coming off the bench. Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. How do we go over this? So Gabe Vincent is clearly the safest of this bunch. I'm pretty confident that Gabe Vincent will be closing games. He'll probably get the most ownership of this bunch as well, but I think he's solid as well. But I'll go over who I like more because we have a lot of guys in this price range at the end of this video. So stay till the end. I'll go who I prefer more because I'm saying a lot of these mid-range plays are good, which they are. And then I do kind of like Kyle Lowry as well. Just know he's really, really risky. Looking at the rotation, he wasn't going to play much. He played 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He would have only got, like, if he played his normal fourth rotation, like 18 minutes. Just be a little bit careful there. I think he's a good play. I think he plays 18 to 20 regardless. 4-8 does seem too cheap, but also he does have a low floor because if he doesn't close games or if he doesn't get that long fourth shift, he will only play 18 to 20 minutes. So I think he's fine. I just be a little bit careful there. And then we have Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. I've been jamming Max Strus every single slate, and it finally paid off for me. I would not play Strus or Duncan together. They negatively correlate with each other. And we saw last game that happened. Duncan was playing well in the fourth, so they went with Duncan over Strus, even though Strus was playing really, really well. I like both for tournaments, once again, just because the ceiling is there. I obviously prefer Strus to Duncan by a mile. I don't even think it's close for me. So I think Strus is a good tournament play, assuming his ownership is in check. And then Duncan, a viable dart. Haywood Highsmith, hard for me to go to him after last game, but if people are struggling, there is a chance he could play more, or if Zeller gets X'd out, they could go like Love backup 5 or Haywood Highsmith backup 5, and then one of those guys also play at the 4. Could happen, but I can't recommend Zeller being out of the rotation because I've been wrong every single time, so I just can't do it. Then we have Kevin Love, who's the best value play on the slate. It makes a ton of sense. I expect him to play probably not 22 minutes again, but probably like 15 to 20. They need his size out there, especially against Aaron Gordon. So Love looks great. Is Zeller questionable? Probably. Okay, and then assuming Zeller keeps getting the backup 5 at 1K, I think he is another okay punt option. So let's go over who I like over who. So I like Jokic over everyone. I like Butler over Murray straight up, but point per dollar, it's very, very close. I like Bam Adebayo, point per dollar over Jamal and Butler. This is point per dollar. I like Michael Porter Jr. over Caleb and Gordon. I like Vincent over KCP and Brown. I like KCP over Brown. I like Lowry over where's Gabe Vincent? I like Gabe Vincent over KCP, Brown, Lowry, Strus, Duncan. Like KCP over Brown. I think I like Lowry over Strus, but that one's close. I like Brown over Lowry easily. I don't even think that's close for me, but definitely Brown over Lowry for me. I like Strus over Duncan. I like Kevin Love over all of the other values, and then I like Jeff Green over Christian Braun. And I like Zeller over Braun too, but it's also just like flipping coins basically. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and Discord link will be down below, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.